opening statement, I'm just recording this for my mom. It's okay, right? Mom, respect women. Start with your mother. Okay. So, just as I'm opening this conversation today, I want to say something, and I want to talk about my mom. And this sets the context for today's communication. When I was a kid, my mother said, "Jaake bread leke aa." She said in a nicer way. Okay. She said, "Jaake bread leke aa." So I got out of the house. I went to the shop. I got bread, but I came back in about half an hour. So my mom said, "I asked you to get bread." She said, "I just got it." I said, "Okay." Next day, she said, "Go get bread." I went to the shop, got bread, came back on time. She said, "Fine." The third day, she said, "Go get bread." So I went to the shop, got bread, got one Fatafat packet also. You know Fatafat? Oh, black wala, super one. I got that one also, and I came back. And my mom was like, "I asked you to get bread. Why do you get this Fatafat thing?" Right? I said, "Okay." The next day I went out. My mom said, "Go get bread." So I went to get bread. There was no bread. So I just came back home. Bread nahi hai. My mom was like, "Dude, if there was no bread, at least understand if there's an alternative. Get the alternative." Okay, learned the lesson. The next day she said, "Go get bread." I went to get bread. There was bread and there was the alternative. So I said, "Okay, I'll take whichever is better." I brought that back home. The next day she said, "Go get bread." I went, got bread, came back. She said, "Hey, did you ask the neighbor if they need anything? Because anyway you're going to get something." I was like, "Okay." So I now learned that I need to take care of my neighbor as well. The next day, she said, "Go get bread." I went to the shop. The shopkeeper's upselling me something. Ye mat lo, wo lo, ye lo, wo lo. Slightly more expensive. I got that. I came back. My mom said, "How did you get money?" I said, "I didn't have money. Baad mein dunga." She said, "No. Pay what you need to do right away." Yeah. So I think there's also many days after that. But I think you get the point. I think in terms of leadership, in terms of focus, in terms of decision making, and in terms of the little things. She said, "Every day I asked you to get bread. The first thing you did is you came home, you entered the house, and you left bread in the hall and walked away. Keep it in its right place." Right? So I think everything I learned about leadership, everything I learned about working with people, I learned from my mom. And I learned it in a way where she didn't teach me. So I just want to say that as leaders, all of us today, we've learned so many things from our moms, which we don't even realize that we've learned. And we don't even realize that they're teaching us, even today. And some of our mothers are not with us. And then you start realizing the lessons that they're slowly installed in us that really make all the difference. And you realize that they're the small ones, not the big ones. So I just wanted to set that context. And I want to say, in many ways, you all are mothers to your schools.
Sure.
Working silently and working diligently. So I want to quickly start off this conversation by saying, one of the things that my mother told me was, I always think she wanted a girl. But one of the things she told me was, work silently. Work silently. What does that mean to you?
I think you don't need to speak about what you're doing in school every day. I think your work, the way the outcome itself speaks about it, so you don't need to go and say, "Oh, I did this, I did that." Most of the time, the principal is in the, behind the scenes. That's how successful. That's how success comes out. You're behind the scenes because your people are out on that stage speaking for you and doing that work. So that is what Silent is all about: empowering other people to make sure that the work gets done. That is very important. And you're behind.
Do you also work silently?
I think for the first 15 years of my life, when I don't think I even came on stage. I don't think I ever came on stage. I was just a person who just loves writing. And I think if you've gone on a LinkedIn thing, you know that I love writing. So I was not speaking before. But I think when I started doing my presentations and when I started coming on stage, because sometimes you have to come and interact with the parents, that's when I started speaking.
Yeah, that's true actually. Nowadays you call it as the experiential learning, right? So even the team or even what I do for my organization today, obviously we learn from a small bit that we go through. And I guess our team follows that. So yes, you silently keep working, keep upscaling, keep chasing your dreams and ensure that I'm from early years, by the way, not from a K-12 space at all. And I run a brand by learning curve. Today I have a 600 team workforce, 98% of women. And I guess hats off to them, probably the way they work hard. Taking a little bit different note there. I always wondered for a woman, you have a biological clock and you have a career clock which goes completely apart and keep chasing differently at the same space. And I guess you still come out, stand, and you guys are here strong, handling both the worlds together. And I think that's very important there. I have a 98% women-oriented company. I think hats off to the women out there today. And the topic obviously says unlocking, but I think women are there everywhere. You talk about the 40% women leaders in education industry alone. So that's a big thing there. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, talking about silence, what she spoke about. I think every woman works silently, That is her innate ability. For that, I can quote the example of Shivaji Maharaj. Today, we recently celebrated Shiv Jayanti and everyone spoke about Shivaji Maharaj. But it was not only about Shivaji Maharaj, but was about Rajmata Jijabai also. But this did not happen when Shivaji existed. It did not happen at that time. Afterwards, when people realized that Shivaji Maharaj should not be termed as a regional leader, but should be termed as a national leader, at that time they started making research on why Shivaji could become a national leader. And they realized that one person behind this was Rajmata Jijabai. And I think that is how a woman is made, to work behind the curtains. And as you gave a lovely example of your mother, that exactly resonates with what Jijabai did with her son, And to share a small example, when Shivaji had been to Bangalore, because these are the things which are not there, but as a teacher of history, if you try to study it, you will realize that when Shivaji was taken to Bangalore when he was at the age of 9, and at that time it was considered when you are a Sardar, then you should have all the liberty to watch the dance and the drama and the plays, because that is how Sardars enjoy, Jagirdars enjoy. And so Shivaji went, but he was not allowed by Jijabai. So one day he stepped out at night along with his brother Shahaji and went to see, and they stood at the outskirts of that dance mahal, which was called as, I forgot the name of the dance mahal. And then Jijabai came to know about it, that he's standing over there. She came, she pulled him in. She did not say anything. She just gazed at him for 15 minutes. And this boy got so scared, he went into the bed and took a promise that after that he would never enter Nritta Mahal. And after that, throughout his lifespan, he never did that. I think that is the power of the eyes also and your looks also. And I think more than men, women have that look, the killing look, I call it. So yes, I feel that silent working can be more better done by women than that.
I think I want to one more speak about when you spoke about biological in this clock. I think as women, the 40s were the most difficult. Because at that time, your body goes through a lot of change. Your parents are aging.
Yeah.
And at the same time, your career-wise, you're growing. So there are a lot of challenges there because even your own children, I remember even my own son being in the 10th standard. My parents, I lost my mother when I was in my 40s. My in-laws are aged. And at the same time, becoming a principal, the kind of task. So I think those stages, the biological and you're going through menopause. So I think that 40s is one stage that, it does affect you.
So just for me, just overwhelms me to know that people who come to school as women leaders have so many other things going around in their life, and yet they're able to like if I can't get my hair in order, I have a problem. And but just knowing this, I think it's deep realization for all of us, and I'm sure people sitting here can relate to that. And that brings me to the next prompt. It's only a prompt, okay? So you can hallucinate if you
You prompt a lot.
So my it just makes me believe that so many women leaders have this thing called shadow neutrality. And what that in India, okay, and what that means is they look at everything around them and they say all is well. They say all is well. If you ask a principal or a principal in a school and say, do you have any problems? They say, no, we don't have any problems. And that's because they've developed this ability to actually, they're not fooling themselves. They're understanding and taking stock of reality. And they build shadow neutrality, where they feel they have no problems, but they work silently. Okay? Do you have any problems?
Obviously, I do have a lot of problems. Nobody's life is without problems. But I guess the feeling that the conditioning, because we've seen our parents do it, mothers do it, and even my mother-in-law and all that, the conditioning is, this is part and parcel of your life. This mein kuch roni ki life nahi hai. This is how it is. And this is what you make the most of it. So we're seeing that, there are obstacles, but the thing is, if you are smiling, your family is smiling. So this is very important, because if the woman of the house is not smiling, everybody goes down. So seeing my mother smile, seeing my mother-in-law smile, and now even I smile. So that's it.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
No, I guess that's true. I mean, I think women probably adapt and adopt also very quickly. And as you rightly mentioned, that smile on the face is very, very important. So a very simple thing that we do also is like the center manager of that, we call it the principals in early years. So her role is very clear that she just needs to interact with everybody coming to the school, especially the employees, and just ask about two things: how was your day beginning, and are you okay with? So that decides the next 4 hours or 6 hours of that women working with us. If the day is bad, we kind of slightly move her around and give her an easier element there. But she comes back. No, she's a woman. She's a fighter, right? She comes back. No, just give me half an hour chill. I'll be back. Probably a cup of coffee, a cup of chai, and I'm back there. So I think they do work a lot of silently. They all have problems, but they, as you rightly mentioned, they just smile off and just go ahead and fight it out.
Thank you, Suhas.
I think we work on hota hai attitude, as she said, hota hai. But we never have that chalta hai attitude. We don't have the chalta hai attitude. We have the hota hai attitude. This keeps on happening and we have to find out a way. So that positivity is something which I think is very inborn, inbuilt in us. And on that we work. And I think as women, we all believe that all is well. Definitely all is well. Because we first say all is well and then we try to find out ways and means of making all is well. Yeah. And that's what Revati rightly said, the 3 boxes. So what we do is, in simple terms, is learn, unlearn and relearn. So that is how we go about with it, and that is why all is well keeps on happening in our lives. Thank you.
That's so brilliant. At least for me, sitting here, I just feel like it's such an authentic conversation. Do you feel that? It's coming straight from the heart, and it just, it warms the cockles of your heart.
And the most organic, because you never gave us the questions. We were asking you about it.
And that leads me to think about the next thing, right? When you know that all is well, you also know it's not. But you also know that you can make it work. And you work silently, right? To me, it looks like some of those life skills that we're trying to teach children, women come pre-installed with it. Already here, sir, don't worry. And what are those life skills? Yeah? certainly negotiation looks like a life skill here because एक तो प्रॉब्लम है नहीं तो सॉल्व क्या करोगे negotiate करेंगे so I think this ability to negotiate your problems depoliticize something complex and not pay heed to a problem and work with dedication till your mission is accomplished. I have seen that from what you are saying. So my prompt to you is this. Have you been in situations where you have to negotiate things? And how do you do it? Because men walk away.
I think something. It's quite easy because I feel the men when they work, they just come and work, and then they go home and everything is just put on a platter. But the minute we ladies are moving out, we're deciding at home pe ghar pe kya khana banana hai, what to take from the house, what to take in the market, and then go home because you are so dead tired when you reach home, you're not going to get down. So negotiation happens every single time in my life for every single thing that we want to do. So I think it starts with the pay packets. It starts with the basic, even the number of hours that we are working. And I think this really wrong habit right now, I think it goes with us women also, is celebrating a Saturday, Sunday working. I think somewhere we need to stop this, and this negotiation has to come in that look, Monday to Friday we work very well. Saturday, Sunday belongs to us. So this is one negotiation which I'm really working very hard for.
Thank you. Are you negotiating anything in life? Is the woman in you negotiating things in
I
life?
work with 98% women, so I guess I negotiate well to all of them. That's also very important.
Or so he thinks.
So I think that's the bit of it. But yes, whenever challenges happens, obviously I put one of my team women in front, and she handles it well. But for the future leaders, we take care of. So we take care of the kids also, where we feed them since morning to evening, so that they are happy, and you keep working all throughout there.
Thank you, Suhas. Thank you.
For me, as Kavita also rightly said, negotiation keeps on happening throughout. But then I would like to say how to negotiate. Deep breathing is an answer to it. You keep on deep breathing, and I think you get the answers as to how you can negotiate. I'm a grandmother of 6 grandchildren.
Wow.
I have 6 grandchildren, so negotiation keeps on happening, They're all around me. Right now, a day before yesterday night, I came from Goa. So my grandchildren, especially the elder 2, were so angry. They said, we had holiday, 26th was holiday because of Mahashivratri, 22nd, there were 2 SSC papers, so we had a holiday. Then it was Saturday, and now today Sunday I'm going out, so they were so angry. And I had to negotiate with them. So I said, okay, when I'm coming back, I'm going to take you for a treat. That is so negotiation, as she said rightly, at every point you have to negotiate. But as a leader, where have you to negotiate? On a very serious note, I say, we have to negotiate with our education department. We have to negotiate with our management. We have to negotiate with our teachers also. अब छुट्टी आई 26 की, मैम और 2 दिन की दे दो ना. I am planning a long trip. I have not been to my native place. So 26, 27, 28, 1st, 2nd, I will join on 3rd. A wonderful teacher, and then I have to think, she has sacrificed so much of her time for the school when science exhibition was going on. Now I'll have to negotiate with her. I say, okay, but see, so now there is a give and take, So as leaders, you need to see that you are able to keep everyone happy. But at the same time, when I'm negotiating with the teacher, I have also to think, what am I going to answer to my management? That one teacher giving 8 days leave, especially when state board exams are going on. Now what do I answer there? So again, a negotiation over there. So, at every step you have to negotiate. So when you start from your house, you start with a different side. Oh, this is what I'm going to do today. But when you reach a school, something is else on your platter. And by the time you think of doing that, something else happens in the school, in the classroom, and someone comes running to you. Ma'am, leave all this aside. There's an emergency over there. So again, negotiating with you. So as leaders, constantly changing your priorities and deciding now what will I have to do and what will be the best step in the interest of the school and of the children is something that is all negotiation is all about.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful expansion of that. But now that women are negotiating all the time, every time and everywhere, they get really good at it, right? They get really good at it, right? You're damn good at it. You can see on the panel also. Women have learned, I think, okay, to prove positively. And that comes out when I deal with my 12-year-old daughter. I just say something, "Ta." That's it. And I land myself in trouble. And my wife comes in and says, "Diet kya 0 to 100? I'm like, okay. So what I wanted to, and I can start from there, that side. This time if you want, you get more time. So, your ability, women's ability, God-given ability and self-developed ability to prove positively, whereby you know that what you're saying is right and you are trying to get your point of view, you're negotiating well, and now you have to prove positively, right? So that kisi ko bura nahi lage. You don't step on somebody's this thing. Because when a woman negotiates for herself, she's seen as combative. She's seen as, I don't know how to say more. But when a woman negotiates for somebody else, she's seen as a savior. She's seen as someone who can this thing. Which means almost unknowingly and unsaid that you have to almost not use the skills that you've developed so beautifully for yourself. And you have to use those skills for others. So my prompt to you is this. Did you have to prove positively certain things in your school for you to become an established school leader? Merely by being the trustee of a school or the chairman of a school or the principal does not make you a leader. You have to work to establish your leadership. So did you have to, prove positively to people around you, above, below, at the side?
I think if your heart is in the right place, people understand. You don't have to prove anything. And in case of women, I find always, and even science has proved that the head and the heart, together they work more better. And that is why this proving really doesn't matter. But of course, it's very essential that in this today's VUCA world and chaotic world, it's very essential that we, not only as women, but as human beings and as leaders, are able to maintain our own integrity and the transparency which is expected of a leader, and especially that of a school leader. If I think we are able to do that, if we are able to reach out to the people, and I think that heart-to-heart understanding doesn't need any language. It speaks through your eyes. And that happens miraculously. If your intentions are right, if your movement is right, definitely there will be opposition. I'm not saying there will be no oppositions. So, in my case, when I decide that these are the children who will be, because we are a part of the American Field Services, through that I'm just quoting one example where I had to send certain children abroad and allow them to appear for that entrance exam, and one child was not allowed. And because he was a very, very notorious child. So I asked him, why are you not appearing? He says, I am not allowed. I am standing out of the class always. So sir said, you cannot be there. And I said, no, you still appear. And then sir said, no ma'am, he will put us to shame even if he's selected. Going over there, he's the most notorious child. I said, let us not label the children. And then, because there were 3 more months left for the exam, it was our entire team who worked on him and saw to it that he realized what we were trying to do for him. He appeared for it, and he not only passed through, but he was amongst those 900, the top 10 to get selected and go to US. And when he went to US, he was awarded the Best Student Award also. So sometimes what happens is that our belief in ourselves, our integrity, our transparency, and our, what I should say is readiness to adopt and walk through the untrodden ways is what brings about that change. So that readiness as a leader has to be there. When the entire, and there I think this negotiation and all comes in, because you are always said that you are trying to be a change maker. So last month when I made my history class, 7th standard students set their own exam paper. The parents said, "Ye kya ho raha hai?" Why are the children setting their own papers? But that was not just writing down 5-6 questions. It was an entire process where we made the children sit for 5 hours and understand what is paper setting, and then they set their papers, and after 10 days they appeared for the paper. And the results were so very different. What children also thought, and now we are going to get 100 out of 100. It did not happen. Not the parents and the teachers who felt that now this is not an authentic way of assessing. So here you definitely face problems. But as I say, that when you have the right movement, as Gandhiji always said, if your movement is right, it will get a momentum. When Gandhiji started with 7 people, it reached to thousands, isn't it? So it's possible. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that.
No, I guess it's all about passion. So if you drive everything by passion, I'm sure the whole team follows you across out there, and you don't have to demonstrate really there. What you rightly mentioned about the head and heart. But I think if you drive passion, obviously the team will follow. They also understand and take things through there.
Well, I have a difference of opinion out here. I feel as women, when we rise, there are so many people who try to bring us down. And every time I feel that I've succeeded somewhere, after some time I've always felt a lot of people trying to pull me down. I don't know if many others have experienced or not. And there are people who are saying, oh, maybe she must have got it by chance or by luck or something. There are people who always say that maybe that person wasn't actually worth getting that credit. So you have such people all around you, and you will experience those kind of things. Again, when ma'am said that there's transparency, the kind of work you do, but you end up working even double when you've achieved something. Because you know that you have to keep on consistently trying to prove yourself that no, you were worth that thing, because that's how people make women feel at times also. And also, from every single place, there is some kind of a backlash coming in. So when you're in that position, it does happen. You are trying to prove yourself from time to time. It's not that easy.
At least me sitting here get the feeling that the context that every one of you is in is so rich with challenges, and it requires you to have such superior skills. That is what it is looking at. So every time, someone tells me, oh, there's no problem, I need to understand. I think that's why they say, "Samajhdar ko ishara kafi hai," right? And I just want to say that, and I'm slowly coming to an end if it's okay. Yeah. The need for each one of us, be it man or woman, to have likability. That people should like me. People should accept me. People should like my leadership. Starts now making things so complex. Because A, you have to do something different. First you have to say, no, there's no problem. Then you have to work on the problem, which you denied. Then when you are right, you have to prove positively so that no one else feels bad. Arey baba. You can't tell your mother-in-law, "Pahle hi bola." You can't say that. So, you have to handle that. And then you also have to be likable. So, the way women in the Western culture handle likability and the way women in the Indian culture handle likability is so different. One may use different methods. In India, we may use compliance as a method. Aap jo bolo, main karu. And that makes you likable, right? So how did you handle likability as a problem? Where you do the right thing, as Madam said, you need to do the right thing. You need to have your heart and hand. So how did you handle this likability thing? And also make it like your closing statement, so that I don't have to summarize the amazing things. Because I'm going to do justice to that. So, use your time well, maybe 2 minutes each or something like that, or 3 minutes each, whatever. But how did you handle likability? I want people to like me, yet I need to do what is right. How do I handle that? And also like a message to your wonderful audience today.
Thank you so much for that question. I feel if you are able to make the person in front of you understand that you are not disliking that person, or you are not hating that person, but you are not agreeing with what he's saying, or you are not accepting what he's saying or she's saying, then I think your message reaches well. Even your teachers, your staff, they should never ever feel that you are demeaning them, you are offending them. They should just feel that you are not in sync with their thoughts and you have a different way of thinking about it. And I think when this happens, in the course of time, maybe that particular moment, that person may go and blabber hundreds of things about you, but don't take it to heart, because that is just a eruption for that particular moment. But in the long run, they will reflect and they will understand that what you had said had the interest of the children in the school. So if that is something that you are able to do, then I think things will fall in place. And I think each one of us must unconditionally love the people around us, because everyone is unique, everyone is different, but everyone is lovable, everyone is acceptable. And I think if we all love it, that this world will be a wonderful place. And I'm so happy for this last statement of mine. Dr. Guha is right there in front of me, who has taught me how to unconditionally love people. Just not look at what is wrong with them, but think of all the good things about them. And then I think this world will be a wonderful, wonderful place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, it's great. I think on the likability part, I guess, so what I generally follow with my team is we have a vision mission for every year, and probably get them through that and make them accept it. And at the same time, have their thoughts also improved in the whole process to go further. Because for us, it's not only at a trust level or at a center level, it's also going down to the Didi level. Because for us, when in early years, those are most important categories as well, where we need to manage a smallest element there. So I think it's just getting everybody aligned to the whole goal and take them through. I feel one thing that we have changed over last 2 years is a constant training at every levels and getting their inputs also from the training, so that we at our end also can change few things, has brought a immense change there. So by getting them also involved into the whole process is also important there. And I think that's one important thing, because the new age tutors or early educators or the new teachers that are coming on board, they don't have any vision. They don't follow. I'm sorry to make that statement, but that's what we are facing down there. And there's no ethics, nothing. And actually, rightly mentioned, 3 दिन लग के छुट्टी आई तो छुट्टी लेके भाग जाते हैं. And they don't come back. So I think somewhere I feel that we need to be very strong enough to give a message to them that this is what the rules are, and you need to follow that. So we ensure that whatever we are hiring, they have a passion towards education. That's very important there. And if there's no passion, then we actually let it go. So that's very important. I feel training makes a lot of difference. So constant training and reiterating helps for us in the long run. Across. Thank you.
Thank you, Suhas. Just saying the final word, everything that you feel like, and a message to the wonderful people there. Take it.
So I think with everybody's interaction with me and all that, first thing is that I respect people a lot, and I speak what is on my mind. I don't ever manipulate or speak something behind their back or something. So I think that what comes with my staff is that she's not going to play any politics. She's transparent. And whatever is on her mind, she's going to put it across, but with respect, with a lot of emotions. So the caring part is there. Earlier, I used to be a little short-tempered, but my mother-in-law was just telling me, "Beta, my mother-in-law was a fantastic person, and she's like, let the other person feel that they won, but you do what you want. So she's always telling me in the house also, there are not so many people around there. Just chill, you do what you want. Don't do it in front of them at that time. You know, when I had to wear a dress or something of that sort. So we've gone through that conditioning of so many years also. So this is exactly what I've taken forward in school also. I let the other person feel, yes, I've heard you, I've understood you, I completely know where you're coming from. But at the end, whatever I have to do, I will do it. But again, respect, value, and transparency. So that is what has made me, I think at the end, know that where she's coming from.
So I just want to say, I now know why you run great schools. I also now know why schools generally are run so well in spite of hardly having any resources. It's because the human capital and the leadership is coming from the heart. And we're dealing with a very super intelligent being that we have absolute love for and respect for, and we're absolutely grateful to. All of you. And I only hope that through this panel, we were able to put something genuine, a conversation, and more importantly, I was just hoping that you were able to see a different side to them. And my mom also said, "Kabhi khali haath nahi jana." So I got some घर से कुछ लाया आपके लिए. Fortunately, it's not something I made like khana types. But I just wanna. This is a T-shirt that we printed. It says, "The world is changing. I'm obsessed with learning." That's all. So I just want to give it to you guys.